All right, guys. So a part of the reason why the left or the leftists, in which some people in my comment section have told me I should start calling them leftists, are so upset is because of two things. They don't have a full understanding of history, one, and then the second thing is that they don't understand human nature, or at least they forget about human nature. The history part kind of goes like this. Because our higher learning institutions are mainly liberal, what they basically teach people is that the white man is bad, and the white man, particularly the European man, has basically tried to colonize all of Earth, and because of this colonization, essentially that is why minority groups and ethnic groups and anybody who's basically not white is so behind in life. It's because of this legacy of colonization, mainly at the hands of the white man. And that even trickles down to your personal individual life right now, even if you are an American and you're living a better life than 99.99999% of people in history. Even then, if your life isn't as good as the next person's life, essentially it is okay to blame the white man, aka the colonizer. The second part is that they have a misunderstanding of human nature. They tend to forget that all men are flawed, including themselves. They tend to forget that they sin every single day, right? We are all sinners. When you come to understand those two things, like I believe President Trump does, you can easily predict that they're going to come after statues like President Lincoln, who has been an overwhelmingly positive president and influence on American history. Because particularly if you're white and if you've done anything wrong throughout history, you will be demonized. But what the liberal does not understand is that, like most liberal ideologies, it is a double-edged sword. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a liberal's worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. Protests are still ongoing in Portland. I don't know why. I don't know what they're protesting for. I don't know what they want. I mean, Portland is like as liberal as it gets, but apparently they toppled a couple of statues, namely President Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt. Take a look.
Every single one of you that's against Black Lives Matter can fuck the fuck off. We're done with colonizers. Indigenous people are done with colonizers.
Now, for the life of me, I don't understand what these people think they're trying to accomplish. Are you really trying to rewrite American history? Do you really want to erase anybody in history that has a sketchy past or has a past that you don't necessarily agree with, even if their influence had been overwhelmingly positive? Because I mean, the reason why they're going after Lincoln is because of this incident, what they call Dakota 38. And this is a reference to the largest mass execution in U.S. history, in which 38 Dakota Indians were sent to the gallows in 1862 because they were accused of killing settlers in raids. Now, Lincoln had signed that execution order, so that's why they mad at him. And they're mad at Roosevelt because of his opinions on racial hierarchy and his role in the Spanish-American War. I have questions because I feel like I have a better understanding of history than the average leftist. Because it seems to me that these protesters and rioters that love toppling these statues are only going after white men who happen to be associated with the Confederacy, or owning some type of slave, or they done something bad to the Native Americans. But I have a question. Did they know that Native Americans owned black slaves? I wonder, do they know this? Because if you know this, then why are you so quick to try to defend what happened to Native Americans? Should we go and burn Native American reservations because they own slaves? You remember that Trail of Tears that everybody loves to talk about so much? Guess who else was forced on that Trail of Tears? The slaves that the Native Americans owned. And I can get even deeper, guys. I can get deeper. Let's talk about MLK. There has been some FBI evidence and documents, and I know you guys may not believe the FBI, I get it, but that's the evidence that we have here, that Martin Luther King, who is basically on every street sign in every city of America, may have been involved in certain sexual acts, such as letting his friend essentially rape a woman and encourage that happening during the time. Other allegations include him taking part in group sex. He may have had another child outside of his marriage. There are many allegations against MLK that I think if people actually really knew, widely known, would make them think twice about him as a man. So do we need to topple all the MLK statues? We need to burn up the Martin Luther King exhibits, take down all the street signs. Do we need to take down everything associated with MLK? That's my question. Because if your standard is to judge people based off of them doing any wrong deed or committing any acts against a minority group, which some people consider women to be minority groups at this point, then MLK should be no different. And these MLK allegations, I'm not saying it's true. I don't know. This is just what I've seen from the FBI. But these are just allegations, okay? For anybody to get butthurt about this. They don't understand the slippery slope that comes with trying to apply this high moral standard to all the great figures in history. You can't, because all men are flawed. I mean, let's take a look at President Barack Obama. I mean, how many people in the Middle East have he killed? I mean, this man bombed a wedding party in Yemen. Now listen to this story. There was a 16-year-old American of Yemeni descent who was killed while eating dinner at an outdoor restaurant in Yemen by a drone airstrike ordered by U.S. President Barack Obama on October 14, 2011, because his father had been accused of being an operational leader of Al-Qaeda. The 16-year-old was killed by a CIA drone strike that was ordered by President Obama. He was an American citizen. No right to a trial. He got no nothing. He was killed by the president. So again, if you guys want to apply this type of moral standard, be prepared to basically take down all statues that's ever existed in this world. Because all men are flawed. Second of all, how is this helping you out? I don't understand. What black person's life, or Indian person, or minority, whoever you want to call them, whose life is being helped by taking down the statues? Whose life is being made better? Because at the end of the day, these statues are there as a reminder of history. They're not hurting anybody. They're just there to remind people, okay, this is what happened in history. This is what happened. That's why I don't mind it. I don't care about Confederate graveyards or Confederate street names or Confederate buildings or Confederate statues. I don't care, because it's not harming me. It's not doing anything to me. If anything, it just makes me think about, oh, this is history. This is what happened. But some people feel like it's a slap in the face and that, it's, mentally draining on them. And again, that to me is just a mentality of the weak-minded. You have to have a weak mind to let a statue bring you down. You really do. And some people will give a counter argument to that and be like, well, you ain't say that about putting up a statue of Hitler. You ain't wanting to put up a statue of Hitler. Well, I mean, quite honestly, guys, Abraham Lincoln is not Hitler. George Washington is not Hitler. Andrew Jackson is not Hitler. Like, they're not. No matter how you guys want to frame it, they're not Hitler. So to a certain extent, I understand you don't want to have statues and be honoring legitimately people that were bad throughout history, right? Like Hitler or whatever, right? But sometimes, like, you got to take a step back and realize, like, where are you going with this and what standard are you applying? Because if the standard is you must not have any history of perceived racism or sexism or any really violent history, then there's nobody who we can honor and there's no statues we can put up, because all men and women are flawed, and we all been flawed since the day we were born. So let me know, what is your standard? What are you looking for? I want to know. So me personally, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I just think it's stupid. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.